My name's Adam Fahr. I've been shoeing horses going on 26 years. I live in Paragould, Arkansas, with my wife Kelly and my daughter AC. I shoe a little bit of everything. I shoe trail riding horses to a handful of dressage, handful of jumpers, some rodeo horses, just a little bit of everything. I have about an hour and a half, 2 hour radius, and then I have at least 1 or 2 days a week people haul into the shop. Keep everything pretty basic, just kind of right down the middle. I think competition drives everything. I think you can learn a lot from it. Plus, it's a good outlet. You know, you get to meet people, you get to travel. The journey to getting on the team, you're traveling, meeting, practicing with different people, learn different things, and it does nothing but pay you back. You know, it pays you back with the skill set that you learn. The horses that you shoe benefit from it. The owners of those horses will benefit from it. Man, the list goes on and on. Every day's practice day, essentially. You know, whether early mornings before we go to work or in the evenings when we come in, sometimes both. Obviously, we have schedules too, you know, clients and show seasons and stuff, and everything kind of bottlenecks. So you just do the best you can. If it's an hour, you do the most you can in an hour. If it's a whole afternoon that you've got blocked off, then you put in what you can that afternoon. You know, focus as long as you can. I mean, just every opportunity. Sometimes it's making a lot of the same shoes. Sometimes it's focusing on one shoe for a couple of hours, trying to make it just right. Sometimes it's having an extra horse or two in the shop and saying, okay, I'm fixing to turn my phone off and I'm just gonna, you know, do the best trims possible and then fit them. And then, you know, whether it be a keg shoe, handmade or whatever. So every day is practice, essentially. You know, if I leave the shop, I practice trims. I mean, you can't really trim out every foot, every, you know, nines or anything, but you can practice different aspects, you know, practice clips, practice fit on every foot. It was told to me a long time ago, and it is a big sacrifice. I was kind of having a hard time when I was started to compete or doing my journeyman or this or that, where I knew that I had to get outside my comfort zone, outside of my house, to get with people that's been there and done it. You know, they're not going to come to you, so you have to go to them. So that is the sacrifice. So I couldn't figure out how to schedule all the work, all the, you know, the family vacations, the school functions, the, you know, things that we need to be at daily and stuff. And then somebody that had been there and done that said it's easy. Schedule family, practices, contests, or certifications, whatever, and then schedule work. Whatever is open is when you work. So the things that are important, schedule that, and then put work in all the voids, and it just kind of works out. So anymore, I've been competing long enough and going long enough that it's just kind of part of, you know, customers, they don't really, I mean, it just kind of is what it is, you know, family stuff, vacations, all kind of, it just kind of ebb and flows now. When you enter the shop and it's practice day, you've laughed, you've cut up, you've had supper, all the fun and games. But when it's practice day, if it's somebody hollering across the room like, go check that trim, you're high here, or that shoe's not good, make another one, or that fit is this or whatever, it's not personal. It's about the team. It's about doing good for the whole. And if you do good for the whole, and that's your true objective, then it pushes you to push them to be better. They push you to be better, so everybody comes up. So it's just understanding that at the end of the day, you're all gonna be friends, family, actually. But during the practice, during the goes, during the contest, it's all about doing what's best to get the best outcome. And I think when people have that attitude and willing to sacrifice and go that direction, I think you can't help but succeed as an individual and a team. If you're on the fence about it and you're nervous and thinking, man, I don't want them to think that I'm not good or whatever, we all get in our head and we're all kind of scared to take that first step. But in reality, they'll welcome you. You know, certification, the contest. I've never seen anybody walk up to either and I'm like, no, you can't do it. Just do it. Everybody wants to see everybody succeed, and nobody wants to force anybody to fail. Everybody wants to bring everybody up. That's why this trade is so unique and so cool. Like, we're actually encouraging and rooting for our competitors, whether it's in the contest arena or day-to-day shooting. You know, like, you don't see a whole lot of other trades doing that, and we're forcing our competitors to be better, which makes us better. So it's all good. So if somebody's on the fence about it, just try it. Just jump in there, and it's a little bit. It becomes part of it. I mean, you'll enjoy it. I've never seen anybody go to a certification and work toward their CF, CJF, or anything, and then once they get it, turn out like, I wish I didn't do that. You know, I've never seen anybody go to a contest and then put a good effort in of making the shoes, win, lose, or draw. They do it. Their first contest was novice or D1 or the open or whatever level, and then on their way home thinking, I wish I didn't do that. There's going to be some aspect that you enjoyed that you take away, whether it was the actual contest, being on the floor competing in the trenches in the moment, or it might be the people you met, the new connections. It might be that one little tidbit that you learn on what you can do for so-and-so horse when you get home to help it, or it might just be the laughs and the jokes and the atmosphere that you take away, and it gives you a shot in the arm, you know? So I've never seen anybody go to any type of continuing education or contest where and they just walk away saying, man, I haven't done that. So my advice is jump in there, reach out to somebody, and just start. It's all about the journey. I think being honest with yourself and where you're at and what you're doing, look at things for what they are, practice on your weak parts, the parts that we don't like doing. Like, if I see a shoe list and there's a shoe on there and I'm just like, man, I don't like them shoes, that's usually, I'll end up making more of those, and by the time the contest is around, I'm probably, I kind of like this shoe, you know? Or find somebody that can be that person that's brutally honest, you know, and don't look at stuff through rose-colored glasses. Look at it for what it is, and just know where you're at. And like I said, if you can't see it, ask somebody. And like I said, it's nothing personal. They want you to be good. If you come to somebody wanting to be good, wanting to be better, wanting to go to that next level, then listen to them, because they want you to be too. If you've got enough ambition to come to them for help, they're going to help. I haven't met anybody in this trade yet, and going on 26 years, that's not willing to help somebody be better, especially when asked. And that's the cool thing about it. So get with people that are at that level above or whatever, and let them push you to be at their level. And then in the process of them pushing you, when you're coming along with it, you're pushing them. And that's you know, that's it. That's the good stuff. I'd say the trim work is an example of it. Like seeing the plane of the foot. You know, I've had some people on me about, for me, and this is my demons in my game. Like, there for a long time I was trimming and I just wasn't getting the right trim, and then I've been shown. So I go home and work on it, and when I finally got it, that's something that I started incorporating in my day-to-day stuff, and changed everything about the way I put shoes, changed everything about the way I see feet, the way I measure feet. So there's so many examples of that. The process of building some of these shoes with the time restraints that we're asked to, you know, like working with Sawyer and Daniel, you know, they've showed me how to cut heats and combine heats just to get a shoe finish. That way you have time for cleanups. You know, some shoes you just don't clean. Sometimes you just get to the product and then clean it. You know, I mean, so many things go, you know. I think the whole process, like you said, people wanting to get into certification or get into competing or going to the next level and stuff, it's when you take that first step, you get so involved with what you do that before you know it, you look up and it's been 2 years, and it's been 4 years, and it's been 5 years, and you're still doing it. And each time you go to a cert or go to a contest or go to a practice or just go to somebody's house to make draft shoes for convention or whatever aspect it may be, all the things that happen, you really don't sit down and just take it in. And then one day you'll be driving to this next stop and you're going to start thinking about the last year, about the last 2 years, about the last 5 years on the team and all this. And you realize it's not really about one specific contest. It's not really about one specific practice. It's been the journey. It's been the people you've met, the places you've been, the hospitality you received. It's about connections to the industry. It's about a family that has been formed around you outside of your wife or your kids or your mom and dad. It's way bigger than that. And whether you want to go for the team, whether you want to do all the certifications or whatever it is, I encourage everybody just take that first step, and before you know it, you're in it. And then you're going to be sitting one day on the porch or in your truck driving, drinking that coffee, and you're going to think back to, that was a fun trip, or wow, that contest, or this and that. And then you're going to realize it's just an accumulation of the journey that's got you from there to here. And then you just keep going. And then another certain amount of time will pass and you'll look and it's more miles added to your journey. It's all good.